Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. Today we're gonna be it's gonna be a shorter episode with I'm gonna do a time lapse, and I'm building a resort hotel lodge kind of thing. Just kind of like on top of a hill right outside this little starting town, and it's not that big, but you know, I just wanted to get something else built around the area, and I think it turned out pretty nice. So enjoy. All right, here we go. Well, I kind of like I wasn't really sure how I was gonna do this at first. I had a few ideas in my head, but it didn't really pan out like how I wanted it, because I was gonna make it further down like the river, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna slap this up here. So I stuck it up on like the mountain, and I think it's a lot more interesting that way, because anything with elevation changes and kind of managing that properly looks better in my opinion. So yeah, that's what it is. I use the asset that kind of like everyone kind of uses for like a hotel, lodge, resort type thing, but it's nice. So what are you gonna do? It's good quality. Yeah, and I tried to put in as much detail as I could on this thing, but you can only put so much on the outside of this kind of thing. Because when you go to a resort, most of it, you know, is on the inside of the building. And so I kind of had to think up, you know, what's going to go out here besides trees. And that was a bit of a challenge, but I think it turned out all right. I stuck, like, sort of that high rise on the edge of the cliff. And I think that looks awesome because when you look up at this from like the town, you can't see anything, but that high rise there, it just kind of like it's like this monolithic like thing sticking up out of nowhere, and that looks pretty good. So I kept it, and it adds a little bit more like of a modern character to this like older style building. But yeah. Yeah, this was I like working with like the challenge of wrapping things around certain elevation changes, and kind of working with that, because honestly the contour of the landscape can help define and guide you whenever you're like not just placing things but laying out an area as a whole. And that's kind of like what I like to work with, so you'll see that probably more in this series. Like the city itself isn't going to have too many elevation changes because it's in like a flat valley, so I guess that won't be as like challenging in that way. But yeah, that's a ski lodge, and the roof's white. And at first, I was like, alright, this can't work. But then I thought, well, screw it, because it looks cool, and we'll just pretend the roof is just white and it's not snow, because it's the only asset that I could really make work in that, in this setting. So we're all just gonna have to deal with it. Sorry. And this is I just threw in a little like trail up to an overlook on the top of this mountain, some like traditional props and flowers and things like that, just to break it up a bit. And like I said, I was kind of struggling on what to add to this like resort, and I think having a little trail up to the like a overlook with a view of the region would be kind of a perfect thing to have, especially if you're like a paying customer at like a resort. You're gonna want to have something that's like fitting to the natural landscape. Well, I just kind of threw in some trees for the rest of this, so we're gonna get back to overview shortly. So see you later. And it's later. Couple seconds for you, couple days for me. Alright. So I slapped on a new LUT just to test out. I think it's the warm something. I don't know. I'll look in a sec. But so let's get going. Well, like I said, it's gonna be a short episode. Just a small little project while I, keep getting some more of my mods and like visuals sorted before we start on the city. But yeah, I think it turned out all right. I stuck these little guys down. Thought they were cool. Whoop. Level of detail is not great on the roof, but it fits. Yeah. I think the frame rate will it'll get a bit better once we get out of this area. I mean, just the trees that I'm putting down aren't they look so good, but they're not great for like frame rate. They're just so detailed, and I have so many of them because I can't compromise. They look too good, and I want that quality. So it does, we get a couple spikes here and there, but I think it's doing alright, and it looks great. So, like, here's that little lookout I stuck in. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, just imagine walking up to a little thing like this and just kind of looking down at all that. That'd be pretty cool. Be pretty cool. Yeah. Kind of snakes down here. And I put a road off in this direction because I'd like to put a little teeny like village like right here or something. Just a couple houses, but I don't know when we'll get to that. This is just kind of just a little thing I threw in there. Just the back of it. Yeah, I don't know. Not much to say about it, to be honest. It's just a small little project, but I like it. I think it turned out good, and like the view when we get down, like, I don't know, like right here, that looks pretty cool. Just like that high rise up on the hill. Like, it kind of turned out how I wanted it to. So happy about that. Happy about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have the next episode up a little bit quicker than I got this one up, and it'll be quite a bit longer, and we're really gonna start getting into something city related. It might be like a combination episode of like water treatment plant, power plant, and rail yard, like a passenger rail yard, just kind of all thrown together, because I don't want to spend 30 minutes on a power plant. I just can't do it. I don't want to spend 30 minutes on a super treatment plant because I don't want to talk about those things for 30 minutes. So I might kind of do a little mix and match episode with 2 or 3 things like that, just laying out the foundations for the city and spending, the episode talking about what my plans are for it and things and where it'll be and things like that. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it wasn't long, but maybe it inspired something in you to kind of like throw in a little area like this up on a hill or something. But yeah, that's it, and I'll see you in the next episode.